it doesn't matter if we are sideways, if we're good, we are live. How are you doing, Leslie?
I'm doing pretty well. Yeah, it's been a journey this last couple of weeks, but here I am. And I got a smile on my face, so I must be okay.
Yeah, I bet you're okay. So for those of you, the people who are watching this live and those who don't know you, please tell them a bit about Leslie.
Well, I live dogs.
Yeah, I know.
I own them, I raise them, I breed them, I train them, I show them. I own a grooming shop. I do everything. My whole life revolves around dogs. And right now I have a litter of puppies, and they're about 2 weeks old.
Ooh.
And one is teeny tiny little baby I've had to hand feed from the moment she was born.
Yeah. And can we please see them, because I love dogs.
Let me
Can we
see
please see them?
Yeah, here's one that I can reach easily. Let's see. Oh, Frodo, that's Dad. Dad. We don't need you.
That's watching closely. Oh,
This
so
is
sweet.
Mr. Blue. They're all color coded because they all look the same at birth.
Yeah.
And so this was the next smallest of the puppies, actually, as big as he is.
Yeah.
And then, here you go, Mama. You can have him back. And then this is the little tiny. Thanks,
Wow.
Dad. So this is little teeny tiny, little Red. I call her Little Red.
Her eyes aren't open yet, right?
No, some of the other puppies have their eyes open, but their eyes are just starting to open now.
Wow,
Yeah.
she's really tiny. So how much did she weigh when she was born?
She weighed 3.6 ounces. And the next smallest one was 8.2 ounces. And the biggest one was like 12 ounces.
So that's in grams. I think that's not even 100 grams.
No, it was I started weighing her in grams after about 4 or 5 days. And about 4 or 5 days, she got up to 100 grams. So before that, she was under 100 grams.
So was she in danger? Because that's really small.
In the beginning, you know, they would starve quickly, dehydrate quickly. They can, if they get too cold or too hot, they can't thermoregulate until they're 3 weeks old. So all of those parameters had to be figured out and measured, and, you know, pretty much right away. I wasn't at all sure she'd make it through the first 48 hours. So I was happy that she did.
Yeah, I can imagine. And how many puppies did Salty deliver?
A total of 7.
Wow. Boys and girls.
Boys and girls. That's a little smaller than her previous litter. Her first litter was 11, and her second litter was 10. So 7 was like, oh, wow, I thought it would be a luxury, until, you know, a little teeny tiny.
Yeah, amazing. So you have to hand feed them. Well, Little Red, you have to hand feed her.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and that started out being every 2 hours, you know, like clockwork, every 2 hours. And then maybe after a week, I could get some breaks during the night of 3 hours. And now at 2 weeks, I can generally get overnight about 5 hours of sleep.
Wow.
And
5 hours of sleep. It's just like a newborn, right?
It has been just like a newborn. Yeah, it has been a lot like that.
So actually, you're a caregiver to Little Red.
Yes.
Because she needs extra nursing and she needs extra care. I assume that you're really concerned about her health, especially when she was born. And is she out of danger right now?
I think for the time being, there are some conditions that may exist that we can't assess yet. Like developmentally, she has an open fontanelle. The plates on the top of her skull haven't closed. And so sometimes that can create some complications that she's too young to identify if there's any brain issues as a result of that. But as long as the work continues, she's not in danger. As long as I keep doing what I've been doing, it seems like she'll be okay. I think there's still some ongoing risk of if she were to aspirate some formula and get some formula in her lungs, you know, something like that. But for now, I think every day I feel like she's less in danger. That's maybe the best way I can answer the question.
Yeah. So do you have to go often to the vet with her, once a week or twice a week, to check certain things?
Well, I had taken the whole litter in at 3 days because everybody else, standard schnauzers typically in the US get their tail stocked, and that's done at 72 hours. That's done at 3 days. I didn't have her done because she was too vulnerable, but I took her for an assessment, and the vet gave me some supplies, like some fluids to be able to give under the skin and some antibiotics for an umbilical infection that she'd gotten probably from the handling of the hand feeding. And then a week after that, I went for another checkup. So that was last Thursday, so 4 or 5 days ago. And now she doesn't need to go back for any checkups unless a problem comes up.
Okay. So the first 2 weeks were more like, okay, is she out of danger? But if I hear you talking right now, I think she's out of danger.
Yeah, like I said, as long as the care routine continues as it has been, she's completely dependent on me for her food. So because she's not able for whatever reason to suckle properly from Celti, her mom. So she's totally dependent on food, so on me for food. So on some level, I can't say she's out of danger because she's still completely dependent on me. So if something were to happen to me, then she would go back to being in danger again.
So that means that you have to take care of yourself as well.
Yes.
Because you just said it yourself, if something happens to me, then little Red has a problem and Celti has a problem as well. So yeah. I'm happy you brought this up because I want to know, how do you take care of yourself? How do you how do you take care of yourself? 5 hours of sleep, and especially in the beginning, you said that you were feeding her every 2 hours. That's not much of sleep. So how do you take care of yourself? Are there any other possibilities for you to have more sleep during the day?
Yeah, I have from time to time. You know, I have two young adult children, and they have been helping out. They help me more than necessarily strictly help Celti or Little Red. But so my daughter cooks for me, cooks and makes food. My son helps me with kind of just keeping an eye and an ear out while I am sleeping, so that if there's any problems. In the first couple of weeks, you have to be careful because mom might accidentally sit on a puppy. Ooh. And the puppy might not be strong enough to get out. These puppies are really strong, and that's never been a problem. They squall really loud if there's ever an issue. So it's, you know, it's been no problem in that regard. But in terms of sleeping, I just do when I can. And And it's gotten better. And now she can take more food at a time, so I can do some other things. Like now I have a little more freedom to do some cooking for myself. You know, if I'm like, gosh, I'm really hankering for some greens, let me go cook some of the broccoli that Valerie went to the store and picked up for me. And you know, so
wonderful. Yeah,
yeah.
wonderful. I see that my brother from North Carolina just joined. Hi, CL King. He owns a dog. He's a dog owner as well. And I know he will love this conversation. So the reason I asked you about how do you take care of yourself is that, you know, many caregivers, you are a caregiver right now because you're taking care of your dogs. And many people think that you can't be a caregiver because caregivers are people who are taking care of other people. But a dog is a loved one as well, right? Or a cat is a loved one as well. So as long as you're taking care of a loved one, you're a caregiver as well. So the reason why I asked you about how do you take care of yourself is because many times, many of us don't see possibilities, or even better, we don't allow ourselves to see possibility. So that's why I ask you the questions. What is possible for Leslie right now? I heard you say that your son and daughter are cooking for you, taking care of the puppies while you are sleeping. Do they offer the help themselves, or do you ask for help when needed? For instance, during midnight, do you ask them to take care of the puppies so you can have a full night rest?
It's a little bit of both. My son has helped me with past litters, and so we have a routine there about when it's time for me to sleep, that he takes the night shift. And so I haven't asked specifically for that. He helps with that because that's our routine with puppies.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter has sort of voluntarily spent some time with me, helping me stay awake later. And also then I have specifically asked her about making food and cooking, and so I guess the answer is a little bit of both.
A little bit of both. You know, it's so important that when you're a caregiver to create a care team. And you can create a care team with your son and daughter and even other people who you trust to be with the puppies, who you trust to take care of the puppies, so that you can have time to charge your battery. Because your puppies need you. Salty needs you. Frodo, his name is Frodo, right? Dad.
Yeah.
Frodo needs you. So that's why it's so important that we caregivers make sure that we recharge our battery, and one night is not enough. So that's why I'm always asking, do you ask for help? Is it possible for you to create a care team? If so, who does the team consist of? How many people are in your care team? Who is good at this, or who's able to stay up late at night? You know, you can ask me to watch puppies at 4 a.m. in the morning, but don't ask me to stay up until 12. So that's what I mean with create a care team. So and it's also important to socialize, just like you and I are having a conversation right now. Of course we are talking about the puppies because I love dogs. But it's also important to have something else on your mind than taking care of your puppies, and socialize, whether it's virtual or in person with a friend. And those are all possibilities, Leslie, that when you see those possibilities, and there is an opportunity, grab that opportunity and take care of yourself. So I can go on for hours when it comes to possibilities, and there's so much value I want to share, but we don't have enough time. And I really wanted to see those puppies, and I'm so happy that Little Red is doing wonderful. And Salty and Frodo, and you're doing such a great job. But I do want to ask you to take care of yourself, because dogs pick up our energy. They can't talk, but they can talk.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
And so part of why I reached out, and part of why I'm so glad to have this conversation, I should add to my care team and say, I have a virtual community of friends. Many of them are involved with dogs. Many of them are breeders. I reached out to them for a lot of suggestions in the beginning, a lot of, okay, here's my situation. Tell me what you know. Give me what you got, so I could start implementing right away. And so many of them were, Leslie, take care of yourself. Leslie, take care of yourself. Don't forget to take care of yourself. And part of what I realized was, I wonder what that looks like. I mean, other than, wow, I'm exhausted, I need to close my eyes now, or wow, I'm starving, I need to eat. And so that's why it's so useful to have you, Miriam, who has a real deep understanding of how do caregivers take care of themselves, so that I could fulfill that piece that those people, my friends, were letting me know about, that was just as important as make sure she has the temperature and the humidity and the feeding
Mhm.
schedule and all of that. The self-care is as big a part. So
Yeah, it's so necessary to take care of yourself. Just like I mentioned just now, dogs pick up our energy, and you can only give them the best version of you. They deserve the best version of you, and you deserve time, precious time, with your dogs, with those puppies, because they grow so fast. And you should be able to enjoy every minute of those puppies, those minutes with Salty, enjoying her puppies, watching her puppies grow, you know. And before we practice self-care, we need to change our mindset. And possibilities, seeing possibilities and grabbing opportunities is one of those mindsets we have to change. Many of us just forget and don't allow ourselves to see possibilities. I mean, how does it make you feel when you know that someone from your care team will take care of the puppies in the upcoming day, so you can have 8 hours of sleep?
yeah,
How
yeah,
how does it make you feel?
relieved,
And
relieved.
that's what I mean. The feeling makes you feel relieved, make you feel happy. And when we know that, we are more likely to see what's possible for us within our situation.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's
And oftentimes we just need that little thing, that feeling, to make sure that we look for possibilities and believe that it's possible. A care team, I mean, I even asked my neighbors, is it
mm-hmm.
possible for you to help me with this? I know that asking for help is oftentimes, it's a problem for many of us.
Right. The only I can do it right syndrome, right?
I know that feeling, but it's needed. It's not a luxury. It is needed. It is required. And please, please, I mean, if you could write down, if I was more courageous, what would I do? What would I do in 15 to 20 minutes for myself? Those are the tiny things we could do for ourselves. Write it down, because when we write it down, we are more likely to take action. And
Oh.
it doesn't have to be big steps. Just
And it's so true, though, to write it down, because one of the things about not having sleep is I don't remember things the way I did. Yeah, I can't remember as many things. I can remember the things that are that I'm most focused on the care, but so many other things that normally I would be able to remember, just keeping it in my mind, I haven't been able to. So writing down things that, like goals, to self-care goals, that's good. And I can say, I've got a few minutes, what can I do for myself right now? And then I'd have a list. And that's I like that idea.
Yeah, or just taking a nap during the day, you know, and um just do it. It sounds easy. It's easier said than done. But when you think of how you feel, how will you feel after that nap? How will you feel if you've taken a 15 minutes shower? How will you feel when, what's the result?
Right.
The result is that you're feeling better.
And if I feel better, I'll be a better caretaker.
Boom.
Yeah, you're right.
It's possibilities. Don't stop looking for possibilities. And you know, if you need me, I can talk for hours. You know, and if you need me, I'm here for you. I get you. I got you as a caregiver. So I'm here for you.
Well, let me this week try to notice and write down what some of my biggest challenges feel like they are.
Yeah.
And then maybe you can help me problem.
Absolutely. Write those things down and let's take it from there. You know, the thing is, if you can make a small change, if you could make a small change today, that's why I ask you what is possible for you right now. If you could make a small change today, what would it be?
Yeah, no, that's great, because like 2 or 3 days ago, 2 days ago, I guess, I had started transitioning Little Red onto using a human preemie bottle with a preemie nipple. And she gulps down less air that way. And now she's used to it. And I kind of had just gotten in such a habit of feeding her now that I forgot that part of the goal a couple of days ago of getting her to use this bottle was so other people could feed her besides just me.
See?
So yeah, I could start doing that. I can now start having other people feed her. It doesn't have to be me.
It doesn't have to be you, and it's such a relief. It's such a relief knowing that there are other people who can take care of them, who can help you, and who can help Salty and her puppies.
Yeah.
Because when you picked up Little Red just now, I could see Frodo and Salty, sorry. They were looking at, what are you doing with my puppy? What are you doing with my baby? So they are depending on you.
Yeah.
And as soon as they know, I think, as soon as they know that there are other members in your care team, that they will trust those people as well.
Yeah.
With their puppies.
Yeah, they do. Nick and Valerie both.
Yeah.
They trust, and they're happy to have them come up to the whelping box. And they help with some things like weighing and helping me clean the box. So yeah, and enrichment is a thing for the puppies now, of having other people hold them, turning them different ways to help build their brains in proprioception, introduce them to sensory, to smells. Now their eyes are starting to open, so they're getting really big real fast.
Yes, they are 2 weeks already. Oh my gosh, 2 weeks already. So when do they leave home? I say leave home. I think it's 4 or 5 months, when they are 4 or 5 months old.
No, the majority of them will start to go to their homes at 8 weeks, at least here in Virginia. Well, actually, in the state of Virginia, it's legal to keep them, to place them at 7 weeks, but developmentally, that's too early. And even for a lot of other people, 8 weeks developmentally is a little early. So it kind of depends on the owner, but and then I like to keep the puppies, some of them at least between 10 and 12 weeks before they go to homes. There's a lot that goes into that particular conversation.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, yeah, 8 to 12 weeks is probably typical.
Wow. Amazing. I would love to know more about this, how it makes you feel when they are leaving, but that's another conversation.
Yeah, that'll be here before we know
it. Well, I want to thank you so much, Leslie, for joining me today. And let's keep going live.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, me too. I can use the help. I appreciate you being part of my care team.
I got you. Talk to you soon.
Okay, Marion. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.